We'll move on to today's session, session 10. I know we are all very big fans of our Madam Sharmila ji, and this session I'll be sharing it with you. So, but from next session, Madam will be here. So, this session is about what Darwin has opened up, the physical activities, labor, exercise, postures, and breath regulations. So, we have been doing some of this for the past 2 days, and we'll see why we need to do this and how it is going to have an effect on our health. So just to give a recap of the previous session, our daily routine. So here we can see the program for health, that is the intake, lifestyle routines, is what has been happening for the past 3 days. So the daily routine needs to be in sync with the day and night cycle. So we have seen this, and the reason is we have 2 hormones. Like we can see how the birds, plants and trees, they all bloom with the sun, and they all go take rest when the sun goes down. Similarly, the birds also, we can all start to hear their sounds when the sun rises, and by the time the sun starts setting, we can see them all flying back to wherever they want to rest. So that is a part of nature. Even our human body, this is also a part of the material unit in nature, following the same day-night cycle. So this is very evident when we look at our physiology, cortisol and melatonin. So these 2 hormones are there. So as the sun rises, the cortisol levels in our body also, it starts to rise slowly. So that helps us in being alert, mentally prepared to take over this day. And as the sun goes down, slowly the cortisol falls down to give us that rest we need. And then the hormone of rest, melatonin, it starts to rise. So this is how our physical body is also designed by the self-organized, self-regulated way to be in sync with this day and night cycle. So we just need to allow the body to follow its cycle. But instead, in the name of our busy lives and routine and works, we don't allow our body to follow its natural cycle. So that is the significance of incorporating or framing our daily routine to be in sync with the day-night cycle in nature, in sync with the nature. And then we saw about the significance of early rising, like the same cortisol and melatonin, and observing the body. So observing the body is very easy, but at the same time a very important function that we can do. So that is the time we listen to the body. So the body gives us many cues about what it needs, how it is getting affected, what it actually needs for us to provide it. So when we give time to observe the body, we'll automatically know what we need to do, what food we need to take, how much activity we need to do, is the body adequately getting the rest it needs. So everything, the body has the capacity to communicate to us, to the self. All we need to do is just take that time to sit and observe the body so that we can listen to what our body has to communicate to us. Once we do that, then the rest of our daily routine we'll be able to plan. But now, in this fast-paced life, we don't give time to observe the body. And then we saw about the cleansing processes, all the detoxification things that we do. Early morning hydration, drinking warm water before sunrise, cleansing the bowels, and other cleansing processes of eyes, nose, ears, teeth, mouth, and taking bath. So all these things, they detoxify. They remove the toxins which have been accumulated by the previous day activity and throughout the night. We detoxify and we push them out and keep our body internally and externally prepared to take on the coming days. And massaging. So that is also a process of detoxification. So this massaging, what it does is, it activates the lymphatic systems. So we have like circulatory systems that carries the blood. We have a lymphatic system that carries all the toxins, the toxic fluids in our body. So when we massage, we tend to push the lymphatic systems to its natural drainage and excretion process. So that is one very important significance of massaging. So just for lubrication, we use oil, and it also has an added benefit of moisturizing. And we saw about the intake, which needs to be in sync with the day-night cycle, because our digestive fire is at the highest when the sun is up, the peak. So that is the significance of that. And we saw about other activities like earthing and exposure to nature, because this physical body is a material unit, and like any other material unit, it needs to be in contact with nature. And we also saw about the significance of sleep, how sleep is the time in which the body gets to do its repair and regeneration process. So our human body is such a self-organized mechanical unit that is equipped with all the repair and regeneration it needs to do to keep it clean and healthy. And the only time that it can do that is during sleep. So sleep is a very important aspect of our daily routine. It is not just about rest. Rest is also important, but in addition, the repairing and regeneration process also happens during sleep. So this is about the recap. And today we will be seeing the session 10. So in this session, we will see about the activities. What is activity? Why activity is important? How we can incorporate these activities? And how these activities are going to help us stay healthy. So when we say activity, we have labor, physical exercise, postures, and breath regulation. So in previous sessions, we saw what we can do to the body. So in this session, we will see what we can do with the body, so the body stays in harmony. So we saw about the universal health principles. This session, it goes with the health principle 2. That is, the body is a self-organized unit in harmony, and all the parts of the body are organized in an orderly manner. And all the systems, they work together in a perfect synchrony so that the body remains in harmony. So this is the principle behind incorporating a labor, exercise, postures, and regulated breathing in our daily routine. So we will see how. So lifestyle today. So we all know this. So there's nothing more that I can share. We know how hectic our life is, from waking up till sleeping down, how we do all things mechanically, and in the name of convenience and development in technology, we have developed so many machines that help us in doing our daily routine. So the ultimate outcome here has become like decreased in physical activity. So for the body, the proposal here is for the body to stay healthy, adequate movement of the body is required. So this is the proposal. So one such evidence is from World Health Organization. So they have done some statistics and they have concluded that insufficient physical activity is one of the leading risk factors for mortality, that is death. So they say that at least 30 minutes of physical activity, moderate intensity physical activity, is sufficient to keep the body healthy. So that is the WHO recommendation. So with this, we'll try to explore the proposals as we go on into the session. So what is physical activity? So we have physical labor and physical exercise. So are both these things the same, or are they different? Different. So we'll see how. So when we see physical labor, so physical labor is the effort a human being does on the rest of nature. So in simple words, we do work to produce a physical facility, and we also do the work to maintain the physical facility. This is physical labor. So some examples. Here we have kept like sweeping, cleaning our rooms, doing gardening works, cycling back, walking, service for elders. So all these things, they come under physical labor. So I think if we are sitting in groups, we can also share some of the physical labors, because it changes depending on age. We can share like what we think is physical labor for us.
Washing utensils.
Yes, washing utensils.
Usually, I think the activity for physical labor, women will do all the physical activity, washing dress. But I am also doing right now. But washing dress, washing utensils, cleaning home, everything, body movement will be incorporated in their activity.
He spoke for men, you should speak for women.
It's cleaning vessels, mopping, brooming. Mostly we are using washing machine to wash clothes since we are lacking time. All sort of activities, household activities can be come under this category, upon my opinion. Is that so? Thank you.
Anybody else wants to add on to it?
Washing the car, wiping the fans, cobwebbing, all our daily activities which we do, storing away our clothes in a tidy way, and also applying your mind to each of these activities adds more fun to it rather than taking it as a drudgery.
Preparing dinner, cooking.
That is the challenging physical labor.
Yeah. So, yes. So, we are all aware of the various physical activities that we can do. So, this physical activity, physical labor, when we say, so this has this very beautiful feature of including all the compound movements. So, we bend, we walk, we sit, we get up from sitting, we get up from lying down posture. So, all these things is very easily incorporated when we do this physical labor. So that is the beauty of physical labor. Physical exercise. So how is exercise different from labor? So exercise is a planned, structured and repetitive work, and the sole objective of it to improve the physical fitness or to maintain the physical fitness. So the difference here is we don't do exercise to produce anything other than to stay fit and to maintain the fitness. Whereas in labor, we do things as a means of producing some physical facility. And in the process, we include all our muscles and the musculoskeletal system of the body so that we maintain our health. Whereas in exercise, the objective is to improve or maintain the physical fitness. So this ensures adequate movement of the body, and several different muscle groups of different regions of the body are worked on. So we have examples like walking, jogging, running, and even playing and doing exercise workout in the gym. So this is exercise. So what do you think? Is labor and exercise exclusively different to each other, or are they complementary to each other? Should we do, is it enough if we do labor? Is it enough if we do exercise? Or should we be doing both?
Because daily work we are doing, but it's not reducing our body weight. Okay, do some exercise, it will give the energy as well as the body for our objective. If we are going to reduce our body means we move on for the exercise. Then only it will happens. Daily routine work is not give that result, my opinion.
Excuse me. So physical labor, it's under compulsion we are about to do. But physical exercise, it's for our happiness, we do that. So I think both are contradictory.
Anybody else wants to share?
Physical labor will not give six-pack or perfect in the body posture, but physical exercise will give six-pack and...
This labor, it is mostly aerobic, so it does not burn much calories like you determined to do. Whereas in an exercise, it's a planned exercise. It can be isotonic or isometric. Suppose you work on certain muscles and you can develop them well, and you want to lose certain calories, a certain amount of time like cycling marathon, you can definitely produce a desired impact in our body. Whereas this is unplanned and unprogrammed. This is very structured. Both are complementary, I feel, ma'am. Both should be done together. Thank you.
Didi, you want to add something to it? Didi?
Ma'am, I would.
See, when we say that something gives us happiness, we have already mentioned that when we are a healthy self, then we are taking responsibility for the body. So being happy, we are doing it. If we are doing even physical work as a compulsion, then it becomes something with which we are unhappy. But the same physical work, supposing I have to do dishes. Now, if I understand that this is part of the work, I can be comfortable, happy within, and still do the work. If I don't see that, and I am grumbling and complaining that nobody else in the house is bothered except me, I only have to do, always it is me. Now I am grumbling, I am complaining, I am unhappy, but I am doing that work. That choice we always have. That I wanted to mention here.
Ma'am, I would like to add some more points regarding physical labor. Ma'am said physical labor we don't get six packs, but I think I used to watch my neighbor. He's pumping the pipe daily. His biceps is like who is going to have a gym at reps, right? Those guys' biceps is equal to that. He was like a middle-aged man. Like I used to ask, sir, what exercise doing daily day? I just pumping the pipe as I used to do like 10 pots of water. And then it depends upon the work what we are doing, like agriculture. Like basically if you see the agricultural man or farmers, those guys have a fit body. I think they have the fit body. Like physical fitness is like not only depends upon the person who is going to gym, because if I stop the gym, my body start losing the muscles. But the physical labor, they are having the physical, retaining the body until they are having the ages or they won't do the work also, because their body is adaptable to that the work what are they are doing. Like that's why.
They are having the stamina of a farmer and the stamina of a 100-meter runner.
Sir.
There's a big difference. And the kind of environment that the farmer needs and the kind of environment that this 100-meter runner needs, they are very different. So we have to see, plus the major difference about the production of physical facility. So the farmer is producing, tons of wheat or, something, whereas this 100-meter runner is not producing anything other than sweat.
Yeah.
Of course, he is staying healthy also, he or she is staying healthy also. But there is a big difference in this too. So what is being said is that if we are doing sufficient amount of labor, that is sufficient for staying healthy. If we are unable to do some labor, like this program when it was being run in, is being run in IIT Kanpur, over there one of their major takeaways is that we don't have opportunity for labor for our students. So if they have an opportunity for labor, they would be better off. That is what their conclusion from their teacher was, from their faculty was. So labor is sufficient for keeping us healthy. So your observations are, I think, well taken. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Both are forms of physical activity. Physical labor is more than sufficient if we do it happily, enjoy the process, because that involves compound movements of all the joints and it involves most of the major muscle groups. And physical exercise, for those of us who don't have the opportunity to do physical labor, then we can go in for physical exercise. But both are complementary to each other. Both can be done together also if we have that time to do. So health benefits of regular physical labor and exercise. So the first point, it helps in growth and strengthening of the body. So when we look at the gross human body, it's made up of muscles, bones, and some ligaments and connective tissues which keep them together. And then we have the internal organs. So when we say growth and strengthening, growth usually happens in the muscles. So like Darwin said that a person who did that pumping, he got such huge biceps. Or we can also see people going to gym, they have some good muscle mass. So that is the growth happening. So the muscles, because of repetitive activity, they tend to form new muscles, new muscle cells. So growth happens and strengthening of the body. So once the muscle mass increases, then the weight of our body, it is shared by both the bone and the muscle. So as long as we have both, then we tend to stay fit. If our muscle mass is less, then our bones, they are burdened with carrying the weight of the body. So that is when we experience the aches and pains that happens in our body, because the bones do not get enough support from the muscle. So that is about how a labor and exercise helps in the growth and strengthening of our body. And physical movement improves bowel clearance. We might all have experienced this. On days when we are very active, we can see we feel more hunger. On days when we are just lying down, taking rest without activity, we might not feel that much hungry. The reason being bowel movements. So as we keep our body active, our bowel also tends to get into that peristalsis, the movement, bowel movement increases. And it improves the body's digestive capacity. And movement of muscles improve blood circulation. So as we give more activity to the muscles tend to form new cells, and for the new cells to get its nutrition, new blood vessels are also formed. So our body has this beautiful capacity to support itself in its growth, strength, and the repair process also. So when we give this physical labor and exercise to the body, it automatically produces all new cells and all the blood vessels it needs to grow and keep it strengthened. And obviously when the blood circulation goes on to the skin, when there is more blood flow to the skin, there is more removing of toxins, detoxification from the skin, and getting in of good nutrients to the skin. So that leads to the glowing skin also. And body's immunity, it increases. So most of our body's immunity is related to the health of our gut, of our intestines. So as long as we keep our intestines, bowels, very active, healthy, very clean, then our immunity is going to be good. Because our gut is loaded with trillions of good bacteria, microbiomes. So they constitute to the immune system of our body. So good exercise and labor, they cleanse, they detoxify all the waste products. The cleaning process happens very efficiently with labor and exercise. So the good bacteria in our stomach, they tend to multiply and form good colonies in our intestines, and that contributes to body's immunity. So when automatically our immunity increases, we feel less prone to get cold, cough, fever, and infection. And labor and exercise combined with right intake and routine, they are useful whether you're overweight and want to lose weight, or you're underweight and you wish to gain weight. So overweight and wanting to lose weight, it deals with burning away fat. So there's fat accumulated subcutaneously and around our body organs also. So doing physical labor and exercise requires the body to produce heat and energy to sustain that activity. So in the process of producing that heat and energy, the fat burns. So that is how we can utilize these activities for losing weight. And to gain weight, it is the muscle mass. So once we keep utilizing the muscles and increase the muscle mass, then the weight gains. So that's a healthy weight gain. So we have shared some examples of labor and exercise. And now we can just form groups and check our basic levels of physical activity. How active are we physically? Maybe rate us individually on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being most active, 1 being least active, just for us as a form of introspection. So we'll know how active we are and we'll know whether we need to change or not. Let's start. On a scale of 1 to 10, how physically active are you?
Walking. I always used to walk a lot. And then out of 10, 5 or 4.
Okay. Sir,
Mine case 7 out of 10.
okay, sir.
7 I can give.
Okay, sir.
6 out of 10. I think I'm active, but using staircase is difficult for me. May you know the reason? Using staircase is I find difficult most of the time. May you know the reason?
What difficulty, ma'am? Exactly. Like you find it difficult because you're going out of breath, or you're starting to have pain in the muscle and joint.
Out of breath.
You're going out of breath. So that means your cardiac and respiratory system is not adequate. So that is why, even though you have strength in your muscles and joints, your cardiac, your heart and your lungs are not supporting. They are not delivering the adequate amount of blood and oxygen for you to carry that work. So you need to improve the.
Okay.
I'd just like to add something there, that you can probably start small activity, and then build it up slowly.
I feel I'm strong, stamina, I'm active, I wish to be active. I find stair climbing, might be I can climb up to 2 second floor. After that, I find hard.
Yeah. So if we start doing that every day, and then maybe go 2.5 floors after a week, slowly you can build up stamina like that. That's what I meant.
Thank you, ma'am.
Physical exercise, no time. So we are planning in the weekend, but some reasons that is not possible to do practical exercise. So I want to do. I will try.
So my rate is 7 to 8 out of 10, but except some stresses.
Out of 10, 8, ma'am. Going back to the child, feeding the food, this is a very big task for me. So out of 10, 8.
9 out of 10.
I would give me a 6. Actually, I'm overweight, so I'm trying to reduce my weight, claiming to get the healthy body. And why I am giving 6 is, like, right now I have started right after I woke up. 20 minutes will be a small workout for me. After having food, I will try to walk a few steps, so that I'm trying to burn whatever I have eaten. But yes, very minimal. I have started. The small step has been initiated to my body. I'm proud of myself right now. Thank you.
I would give myself a rate of 7 to 8, and I try to be active. And I feel I'm active, and I'm not very much confident in rating how far I am active on a scale like that, but I feel I'm active.
Ma'am, I would like to say that I met with an accident and I got my nerves compressed so that I was given traction. So after that, I get a tingling, numbness like that way. I can't do physical activity, but mentally I'm strong. So whatever activity, I can do stretch exercises. But if I start doing sweeping, mopping like that way, so I can't be able to, that I get this kind of problems. So that I got limited with physical activity. And even walking more than 15 minutes if I do, I'm unable to do. So this is what my problem. So I give as I do pranayama and that and all. I'm fit. I can do anything. But physical activity, when compared to physical activity, I'm not that much good. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
I can rate 8 to 9, ma'am. So I used to walk 45 minutes daily in the morning, and I like to play shuttle in the evening. So that is the most physical activity that I wish to do. The only thing I have is the inconsistency. It depends on the mood and the situation, but I still tend to have such activities. Thank you.
For me, 5 out of 10. The reason is I used to go for walking with some compulsion. So when the rainy season started, I'll be happy because no one will force me to go for walking. So I'm about to change myself because I'm overweight. So I'm about to change.
Earlier, my physical labor and exercise was 10 out of 10 because I am a trained martial artist. So, but as of now, I would give, I think, 4 only because physical labor is 0 and exercise is still continuing. So I think 4 out of 10.
So I would like to give myself maybe 2 out of 10. If you ask me like the same question before 4 or 5 months back, maybe like it will be around 8 to 9, where I was engaged completely with like my physical exercise and my work also. But nowadays, like I've been like mostly packed with my work and the schedules, because of which I'm not concentrating into anything. Maybe I would be the right candidate to attend the session actually, I think.
I would like to rate myself as 8 out of 10, ma'am. The only thing is I used to go walking earlier, but it wasn't very consistent. Now we are part of a group, a group of doctors who always want us to walk minimum 6,000 steps, actually 10,000, but 6,000 only when you walk, you can go to sleep. So you have to take one screenshot and post. So that has made it more consistent, because 21 days it became a habit now. Now you can't go to bed without it. And secondly, I've enrolled for Zumba. So that also makes you burn calories. So these 2 things helped me as a group, which I was not able to achieve individually. So when you go as a team, each one motivates the other, and that helps. That's what I feel.
Actually, I don't know how to rate myself because at the age, I'm 48 now. At the age of 45, I started taking pills for blood pressure. So maybe it is genetically inherited, or I don't know, but yeah, I try to be cool and composed, but I don't know. Right now my problem is I'm doing yoga and meditation, all these stuff, but my eyesight has been blurred for past 1 year, and without spectacles I'm not able to read things. So I think this eye exercise that was given up would help me right now. Thank you.
Yeah, I can give to myself 9 or 10. Till this May, I can certainly say I was in 10. But due to some medical problems, now I am restricting my physical activities. So what I want to tell to others is I hope it will come in the coming sessions. So it is not just the physical activity, getting a 10. Something else also there. So mental worries, lack of sleep, it's all affecting a lot. Because of those things, I got some medical issues. Now I am not, even though I wish to take a 10 here, I am not able to do that. Thank you.
Morning. I'll be giving 7 of 10. So basically, if I decided to do anything, I'll do it. A little bit of laziness is making us not to get into that. But if I decided even to climb for 8th floor or 10 floors, so I'll do it. But I'll take some rest with in 2nd floor or 4th floor. So that's the way I used to do. But I don't worry about climbing the stairs and all. The thing is, have to decide. If it is decided, I'll do it. So, and all the regular activities I used to do, all the physical, and for the past 3 days, I'm going for an early bed and I'm waking up. So this made me fresh and active, and also I'm going for a little bit of walking for the past 3 days. Also, it helps me to come to the class early, and the college early, and a little bit of stress has reduced. So instead of coming rush to the college, so it has reduced completely, and that is also a kind of thing which made us active on a whole day.
Just the rating, ma'am, because we are running out of time. Just the rating. This main exercise is for us to introspect within us how physically active we are, so we can try to improve or regulate it accordingly.
6 out of 10, ma'am.
7 out of 10, ma'am.
Physical labor and physical exercise, it is 5 out of 10. Only physical exercise means it is 2 or 1.
8.
8, ma'am.
5 out of 10.
5, ma'am.
So thank you all. So just for us to know how active we are, so we can concentrate more on where we need to improve. So that, moving on to the next, regulated body postures. So we can just check and share our body postures at various different times. So we'll see why being in a good posture is important and how it is going to help us to maintain the health, to stay healthy. So we can check during our daily routine, like standing, walking, sitting on a chair, sitting on the floor, eating, and studying or working at a desk. So we can just check, and the main things to note here is to keep our spine erect. In whatever activity we do, the main thing here is to keep our spine straight and erect. And when sitting on a chair, the right posture is to have our spine erect, knees at the same level as the hip, and feet flat on the floor or on the footrest. And with chair, with arms are most preferable, so we can gently rest our arms on it so that our shoulders stay relaxed and they be in alignment. So this is the right posture for sitting. Sitting on the floor with crossed leg, it is recommended to do this whenever we are able to do it, because that supports the distribution of the body weight in a balanced manner. So we'll maybe do this activity when we get some time. We'll just demonstrate how to stand, walk, sit properly. So regulated body postures. So how is this going to help the external part of the body and the internal organs of our body to stay healthy? So we can see proper posture aligns the bones, joints, muscles and connective tissues. So the muscles and bones can work efficiently, reducing the strain, so that the pressure gets transmitted equally. It is shared equally by the all muscle groups and joints. So one particular joint doesn't get affected because of improper posture. And good alignment allows the body to maintain stability with unnecessary muscular effort. So that reduces fatigue. And posture control is fundamental for movement, balance and functional tasks. Like we need nerves to coordinate with the muscles. So we can see this example. Whenever we sit improperly, we can see our legs going dead. The legs become numb. That is because the nerve, they get compressed with the underlying floor or chair, and the blood flow to the nerve gets reduced. So that is why we don't feel the sensation in that part of the body. Even our arms, when we sit on table, when we just press here, the nerve here gets to tense compressed. So that is why we don't feel the arm limb for a few seconds. So that is all a result of irregular postures. And how these postures help to regulate the internal parts of the body. We can just a small exercise, observation. We can stay as you are, and you can try to breathe. Just observe your breath. Just 2 or 3 breaths. Okay? Now try to sit in proper posture. Spines erect. And now you can try to breathe. So do you feel any difference in how you breathed before and how you breathe now? You can share, ma'am. Mic. What difference did you feel, ma'am?
So when I sit erect, the breathing is comfortable. When I hunch little, there is a pressure in my abdomen.
So the breathing becomes a little more effort. So anybody else wants to share? Or we all agree with that? Yes. So that is how our proper postures regulate internal parts. It is not just about breathing and lungs, it is also about our intestines. So it needs space to move around because intestines, they constantly move. The peristalsis, it is a constant activity which happens. So compressing them is going to obstruct the activity. So when we maintain a proper posture, the internal space in our body tends to expand and there's more space for all the internal organs to do their work properly. So just simple correction of postures, they help regulate the activities of our internal organs and they reduce the wear and tear, unwanted pressures and strains on the external parts of the body. So we have many different postures, like names for postures in different traditions across the world. So in India, we have yoga, and China, we have Tai Chi, Qigong, Korea, Sandu, and in Japan, Shintaido. So these are all different traditions that the local regional people have developed among them so they can maintain this regulated body postures to stay healthy. So here we are taking an example of yoga, how yoga helps to regulate the internal and the external body postures. So yoga is about the stillness in postures. So it can be done anywhere. And most is required is just a mat, like how we have been doing for the past 2 days. So they recommend that even 15 minutes of doing these body postures can make a remarkable difference in our energy levels, vitality, alertness, and skin tone. So when we consciously incorporate these body postures in our daily routine, we tend to activate most of our joints and muscles which we normally do not use in our daily routine. So by doing so, the muscles and joints, they do remember that they have activity to do, and so the blood vessels also remember to supply good nutrients and more blood to those parts. So doing it consistently and daily, that is going to maintain the health of the overall body. So these are some of the health benefits of yoga. It improves the strength and flexibility. So when we say the physical fitness, it includes the strength, stamina, flexibility, balance. So all these things together put is what constitutes the physical fitness. So when we look at yoga, it basically involves maintaining some postures, and also there's something called flow yoga. We change the postures rhythmically in sync with our respirations. So these two things. So yoga, what it does is, it helps in strengthening. So when we maintain a posture, the muscle, that group of muscle tends to take up the center of gravity and holds the weight of our body. So when it tends to hold the weight of our body, then that develops the strength of that particular muscle group. So when we do different postures, then different groups of muscles and joints, they get activated and they develop the strength. And flexibility, because when doing yoga, we include all the joints, most of the major joints of our body. So when all the joints are activated rhythmically, consistently, then it improves our flexibility. And it strengthens the bones, the joints become more flexible, it tones the muscles, and they improve the blood circulation in the body. And the outcome is increased longevity, and the body looks and feels younger. And it also helps to relax and calm the mind. So when we concentrate on some specific postures, we tend to focus our mind on that posture. At least for that moment is stopped. So after the sequence of yoga, say for 10 or 15 minutes, we naturally tend to feel calm. Because in addition to what is happening in the body, so whenever we move our muscles and joints, the good hormones, endorphins, they get released. So in addition to that, the mental activity, that also seems to come down because our concentration and focus is on the activity. So all these things they put together, they give us a very calm mind. That leads to better sleep. So doing these consistently will naturally cool us down. And stillness in specific postures helps with balance and stability. Here, examples like the warrior pose. We can see the warrior pose 1, warrior pose 2, and the warrior pose 3. We can see here. So these things can be done first on one side, that is the right side, and then on the opposite side. So we can see like one part, this thigh is now holding the entire strength of the body. So the strength is going to happen here. And we can see how this major muscle group in the body, spine, shoulders and arms are all getting stretched. So that improves the flexibility. And to hold this posture, we need the engagement of our core muscles. So that improves our balance also. And doing it repeatedly gives us the endurance, the stamina. So just simple postures like this, they might look simple, but doing it consistently gives us so much of benefit because it includes most of our joints, our neck, shoulders, arms, our spine, hip joints, knee joint, ankle joint, almost all the major joints and muscle groups have been involved. And similarly, we have this pose, Sarvangasana. So this is one pose where the gravity tends to go to the shoulders and the neck region. So for strengthening of the shoulders and neck, and obviously we can see how much of balance is needed here. So some simple poses to ensure the strength, flexibility, balance and the endurance. And this Vajrasana, this is the only pose in yoga that can be done even after having a meal. So we can see how the knees are flexed and the toe are also folded on each other and they are giving pressure over the pelvic region. So this stimulates the pelvic region and keeps the spine erect. And obviously it opens up more space in the abdomen. So that helps in easy digestion. And this is one pose where we can use when we feel bloated. So compression of the abdomen, it tends to release the excessive amount of gas that is there to relieve bloating. So this is Pavan Muktasana. So these are just examples of few of the poses in yoga that we can try to incorporate in our daily life to get the maximum benefit from them. So this is about Vajrasana, Sarvangasana and Surya Namaskar. So previously we have been seeing about holding the postures. So when we come to Surya Namaskar, this is something which we do it in a rhythmic and a synchronized manner with the breathing. It is a set of 12 sequences that can be done. Again, it involves all the major muscle groups and joints of our body. And this is in itself a very wholesome activity that can be done to ensure the physical fitness. So the strength, stamina, balance, flexibility, everything can be ensured by doing this posture. So even for weight loss, they say that one set of Surya Namaskar on right and left, that one set it burns approximately 14 calories. So what is recommended for weight loss is to keep a deficit of around 200 calories in a day, what is required for us. So just doing 10 sets is going to give us 150 calories. It is going to burn 150 calories. And just cut out 1 cup of coffee in a day, that cuts the remaining 50 or 100 calories. So very easily it can be done. So, and this by itself gives so much of physical benefit for the body. So this is about the body, regulated body postures. So the last session in this, regulated breathing. So when we say breathing, it involves taking in oxygen and getting rid of carbon dioxide. So just one more small exercise. Just observe how we breathe. And now try to take in your maximum breath. Your maximum inhalation and maximum exhalation. Yes? Was there any difference? Anybody wants to share? பண்ணவே இல்லை
Myself, ma'am. When we
Yes,
are
ma'am.
inhaling itself, I could feel freshness. Like to the full we are breathing in. So I could feel that freshness and also the comfortable.
So any difference in the amount of air you were able to take in, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Like it's a deep breath, no. So I found like it was more the movement of the tummy got increased then reduced. That I felt. Yes.
So how many of us agree that we were able to take more breath in? So the point to note here, observe here is that our lung capacity. So when we normally breathe, we use only 10 to 20% of our lung capacity. But our lungs have more than that capacity to do the breathing activity, which we don't utilize to do. So how can we use our lungs more efficiently to improve our lung capacity? So this is the experiment we just did now. So the answer to that is regulated breathing, doing conscious regulated breathing. So what are the aspects in breathing that we can regulate? We can regulate how fast we breathe, how deep we breathe, how smoothly we breathe, and how much time we give for inspiring and how much time we give for expiring. Are we able to retain that breath in between inspiration and expiration, and again in between expiration and inspiration? And how mindful are we about our breath? Are we breathing in through the nose or the mouth? And what is the environment we sit in? So all these things can be so all these things we can do it with mindfulness.
Out. So once we practice, even our normal breathe become like that, ma'am, or we
Yes,
need to.
yes, ma'am. That is
So, if by practice.
So once we start doing this regulated breathing,
we become
first consciously, then all our muscle groups, they tend to get activated, and over time, even when we do our normal breathing, those muscle groups, they remain active. So naturally our lung capacity, it increases. So first it starts with conscious regulated breathing. So the physical benefits we can see, it lowers the heart rate, lowers the blood pressure, and improves the oxygen uptake because we breathe in deep. And we involve the abdominal muscles also when breathing. That is very important to increase the lung capacity. And we can see here, it activates the parasympathetic. So how this regulated breathing, in addition to these physical benefits, how it also gives us the mental benefit. That has to do with this parasympathetic tone. So in our body we have a nervous system, that is autonomic nervous system. The system which regulates our heart rates, blood pressure, even the breathing rate, everything is regulated by this nervous system. So it has got two components. One component tends to increase. So whenever we are anxious, in competitive mode, in fear, in hurry, the sympathetic system, that is the nervous system of fear and fright, that gets activated. And whenever we are calm, the opposite thing, the parasympathetic nervous system gets activated. So we can all see for ourselves in our daily life, what is our normal pace? Are we hurried, very fast, always anxious, or are we always calm?
Mixing. Morning when I'm coming for fingerprint, it's very, very high. Then evening it become like, even I thought of like every, like morning if we have that hurry, ma'am, so that breathing type is changing. That it's for sure it will affect, ma'am, repeatedly having
We can
the
check
hurry.
now, ma'am. We can all check now.
Yes.
Just we can put our hands on our pulse and try to breathe very slow. Take a deep breath and deep, slow exhalation and check how our pulse rate is changing. First, just observe the pulse and then start doing the breath. Deep, slow breathing in and slow breathing out. And see if there's a difference in our pulse rate. Yes? Anybody would like to share? Any observations? Any sharing? I think Rachula ma'am can tell. She knows.
During normal respiration, we are just doing it involuntarily, but during voluntary respiration like this, holding our breath or doing that, because there is lot of, when you take a deep breath, the lungs expand, and at that time during inspiration there is a lot of negative pressure in the thoracic cavity, so much of the blood goes inside the heart. So there is a lot of circulation which comes back to the heart, venous return increases, so there is a sinus variations in the heart rate. This is called the sinus arrhythmia. So when the vagal tone is good, then it causes a slowing or the lessening of the heart rate. And the sinus tachycardia happens otherwise when you are going to exhale.
Like it was like something related to heartbeat, like right reduce agra mari. While exhaling the breath, it like the rhythm started reducing, like heartbeat.
So how many of us you want to say? Okay. So 45 to 49. Okay. So the observation here is when our breathing is regulated, when we take in slow, deep breath, the nerve of rest, that is a parasympathetic nerve, what madam said, the vagal tone, vagal nerve, that gets activated. So naturally our heart rate and blood pressure, it tends to fall down. So doing this consistently, daily, over time, over a few months of time, that leads to predominance of parasympathetic tone in our body. So now, because of our fast-paced life, most of for us, the predominant tone is the sympathetic tone. So that is why our heart rate, BP, everything is on the higher side. So when we do this consistent regulated breathing activities, then the predominance shifts from the sympathetic to the parasympathetic tone, and naturally our system gets to slow down. So that gives all the benefits. And also that is the nerve which gives us the sense of deep relaxation, and hence all these mental benefits. And naturally when we focus on our breathing, the mental activities, the ruminations and mental chatter, worrying, everything tends to stop or slow down, at least for that period of time. And when done consistently, that automatically reduces. So all these regulated activities, body postures, when done in consistency, they add up to give the physical benefits and the mental benefits. So again, there are many different traditions followed across the world in different countries, and in India, we follow the tradition of pranayama.
Ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, is it possible to measure the level of oxygen that we take in, and is it sufficient or not sufficient? Do we have any equipment to check that, like a pulsimeter?
Yes, ma'am. We have what is called arterial blood gas analysis, ma'am. So what we do, normal blood testing, we take the blood from the veins. But we have something called taking blood from the arteries. So that gives us the exact amount of oxygen that is present in our blood. So it's there.
So we cannot use that pulsimeter, oximeter to check?
No, that gives us the approximate level, but we have even more, that's then like an indirect measure of oxygen. So to do a direct measure, take it from the arteries, because this pulse oximetry, that gets interference with so many other things.
How much does it cost, ma'am? That the test.
That's a very invasive test, ma'am. So unless it is indicated for some critically ill situations, we don't do that. Mostly in ICUs, for very critically ill patients, we do. But for us, we can use the pulse oximeter.
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, we can use, but that gets affected by the temperature of our skin, the color of the nail polish. If at all we use any nail polish, all these things interfere with that. So once we control the other things, maintain a normal temperature, don't put any nail polish, we don't shake the finger, and when there is no light directly over that pulse oximeter, when we control all these situations, then that gives us a rough 90% approximate results of the oxygen level.
So if somebody who is on a 100-meter running, so they will have a high oxygen supply inside them, so the oximeter will show a high level?
The normal oxygen level for every one of us is between 95 to 100. That is there. So actually speaking, for bare functioning, the amount of oxygen required is only 250 ml. But for longevity, the alertness and the vitality, our body has the capacity to take in more oxygen. So that is what we are trying to do with this regulated breathing and postures, to increase the capacity. We can survive on the bare minimum, but to really live with that vitality, we need to utilize the maximum potential of the body.
How much will that show for a full potential person? What would
it
be
is
the
only the
oxygen
machine
level?
calibration, ma'am. So the machine is calibrated to show only up to 90 to 100. So whatever is there inside us, the machine is not calibrated to show it out. So the physical benefits of pranayama: enhances the lung capacity, reduces the blood pressure, improves immunity, and improves the quality of sleep. The mental benefits: enhanced cognitive performance, calming of the mind, and reduces the stress. Because doing regulated breathing consciously, it opens up all the lung alveoli, that is the air sacs. So when we breathe normally, we don't tend to use the lower portion of our lungs. They always remain collapsed, like balloons which are not blown out. They are all shrunken. Only when we take in the regulated breathing, they open up. So hence the lung capacity and more oxygen and more distribution of oxygen to the tissues. And we have this specific form of pranayama, nadi shodhana, or what we did yesterday, the alternate nostril breathing. So that is said to purify the energy channels in our body. So we have come to the end. Any questions, any clarifications?
Told about liver, I missed liver and all, like special yoga for liver, like that. Lungs we referred, like liver, fatty liver problem is increasing. For that, any pranayama, and also any food item you are suggesting for this, ma'am, benefit of lungs.
For the intake, for lungs, ma'am?
Lungs and also liver.
Yeah.
Yes.
For liver, that is the detoxification center of our body.
Okay.
So any intake which is done in a regulated manner, that is going to follow the natural process of decomposition and detoxification. Anything that we take in excess, that is going to stay inside us as toxins. So that leads to the fatty liver. So that is one cause of fatty liver, not the only cause. That is one cause. So we can regulate our intake. It's not like there are specific food to reduce the fatty liver. It is like a daily routine which can prevent the fatty liver.
So, but for lungs, healthy inhalation, like a environment pollution free. That one only will take more. Okay.
See, every organ system has a definite function, and every organ system works in synchronicity with the other organ systems. So when it comes to lungs, its work is to breathe. So we are doing regulated breathing to enhance it. When it comes to liver, its work is to detoxify. So we can regulate it by regulating our intake.
Ma'am, due to my overweight, I cannot do some of the exercise you shown there. Okay, and almost I have knee pain, and I did one operation in the knee. So can I follow that yoga?
Sure, ma'am. There are specific postures which doesn't involve the knee joints or uses minimal use of the knee joint. we can follow that.
Thank you. From my experience, like doing what is that, Surya Namaskar will be beneficial. I got from one doctor or some people, like everybody can do Surya Namaskar. No need to worry about joint pain or like that. Is it so, ma'am?
No, ma'am. So
no.
Each human body, even though the physiological makeup is the same, it depends on our age, our previous, that is the current level of flexibility and the morbidity we have. So we need to listen to our body whenever we do any of this, be it physical labor or exercise or body postures or regulated breathing. Always it is advised to listen to our body. The body tells us where it aches and pains, so we can be cautious when doing it.
Ma'am, for somebody who cannot follow physical activities and exercises, is it possible to regulate their body only through breathing exercises and some stretches and diet?
Sure, ma'am. Sure. So all these things, they work complementary to each other. So for people who are not able to do physical activity or exercise, they can regulate the body through dieting, through proper intake and to proper breathing. So intake, the sufficient amount, balanced intake, that itself regulates all our muscles. It gives the amount required. And the internal organs can take care of the detoxification. Because our physical body, our human body is a very self-organized unit. It has got the capacity to repair itself and to get all the nutrient it needs. So our only job is to listen to it and give what it needs and not to do what it doesn't need. So we don't give that time to listen to our body. So once we do that, all these things can be done in a very regulated manner.
My son is having imbalanced shoulders, like always whenever I try to correct it, by default he's doing so. What is the reason and how to regulate this, ma'am?
This can be just positional. Because of his age and unmindfulness, he might be involuntarily doing that. Or it can be some medical reasons also due to problems in the spine or the lungs, which needs to be evaluated. So we can just advise him for now to mindfully maintain his posture at every day consistently at the same time. Then automatically over time, if it is only positional, that will recover on its own.
Thank you.
My question is related to breathing. Why snoring is happen? Is there any specific reasons? How it is going to be managed? Because my case is nobody identify where I am sleeping. That much of calm sleep I am to happen. Some days I am exposed to some open environment or feeling exhausted. On the day I used to snore. Even I couldn't realize I am snoring, but on that morning while I wake up, I feel some pain or throat. Then only could realize I am snored. Is there reasons?
Snoring, that usually happens because the muscles inside our mouth, we call the palate muscles, they are weak. They don't have the adequate strength to support our palate. So that is why when we sleep, the muscle becomes lax and it causes obstruction to the airflow. So that is why snoring happens. And because overnight that muscle tends to work more and gets friction from the passage of air, that is why you are feeling that soreness in the morning. So one way to overcome is, we have a pranayama technique called Ujjayi breathing. So that is a specific pranayama technique that we can use to strengthen the muscles of the soft palate. So once we practice that regularly, over time that muscle gets strengthened and snoring will reduce. So it's time for break also. Yes, ma'am.
So what is the recommended breathe in, breathe out, ma'am? Deep breathe in and breathe out.
So there is nothing specific recommended, ma'am. It varies, depends on us, me, the individual. So maybe we can start slow, start light, say 3 counts, and then slowly increase it to 4, so that we don't feel dizzy or we don't feel that we are putting in so much of effort to do that. So that itself becomes exhausting. So start slow and slowly we can add on to it. So we can see people who practice this pranayama, they are able to do only like 2 or 3 breaths in a minute. Normally we breathe for 16 to 17. So with regular and consistent practice, they are able to survive even with only 2 or 3 breaths per minute. So it's a slow, consistent process that we can build up.
Ma'am, when we do that, our lungs are expanded. But in usual time, like people, when we watch sleeping, when I am childhood or when my sister's child are playing, we used to see our grandfather sleeping. That time his stomach rises and slows. So is it any difference when we practice like regulated breathing? Are we concentrating towards lungs, or in usual regular normal breathe, our stomach is rising and going down when we breathe? Is it there any difference, ma'am?
Normally the muscles which we use in respiration are there present in our chest and also our abdominal muscles. So when we breathe properly, both our chest and our abdomen should rise and fall. That is the normal thing.
Thank you, ma'am.
Consultation.
When we see a person, how can we identify that he or she is underweight, correct weight, or overweight? And one another thing, I have a doubt that when we get weight, the weight comes become big size in hip, thigh, and arms. These 3 parts only. Any specific reason to get weight in these parts?
Your first question, ma'am, to identify underweight, overweight, we have this calculation, body mass index calculation, which we can use our height to calculate the correct amount of weight we should be. So the approximate, very rough calculation is subtract 100 from our height. So that is our ideal weight. So if I am 159 centimeters minus 100, my ideal weight should be 59 kgs. So we can use that. Plus or minus 5. So if a person is 180 centimeters, his ideal weight can be somewhere between 75 to 85. So that is the rough calculation. So with this we can see whether the person is underweight or overweight. And regarding this getting that fat deposits, that depends on the body type. So there is no specific thing. One reason could be underutilization of that part. So women, we mostly tend to, even though we cook, wash vessels and mop, we don't tend to use the major muscle groups of the arm. So that is why we are always weaker in the arms. So, and we tend to put more weight in the arms. So how this body gets to use the different muscle groups can have a tendency on where the fat deposits. We'll all break.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. So, more than a resource person, we started seeing as original doctor now. So we use a consultation hour, ma'am. No doctor will explain from our experience. 2 minutes they will talk. You are explaining very nicely. As for our Triple H group, you give one consultation hour whenever we are getting free time. I have few more questions.
Ma'am, this is our consultation.
Yeah, you are giving solution for all the things. So we need the time.
This is the solution. This is the consultation.
But still,
follow this program, no consultation from doctor is needed.
Okay, no problem. I will come, ma'am.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes. To second that, your presentation was really great, ma'am. The way you explain the undulations in your voice, it is really good. And as far as my question is, we have a lot of commercialization in the exercises we are like to do. We have Zumba, we have yoga, we have gym also. So which is the most efficient way of keeping your body like good? In research, we should have got something like yoga is the best one. Better go for that. So which is the one we can like look for up to?
The answer to this question again is there is no fixed recommendation, because every individual, we vary in our current strength, balance, flexibility and endurance. So we should not overdo ourselves thinking that somebody recommended Zumba. For me personally, I would say, for me, aerobic exercises and cardio exercises, that is which involves fast movement, doesn't suit to me, because that gives more stress to the body and raises the stress hormones. So for me, I go with yoga and minimal stretching activity. But for people like Darwin, who are already very active, so they can get benefit from Zumba or aerobic exercises or gym activities. So it depends on what is our current level of strength, flexibility, endurance and stamina. We can start from there and we can slowly build up.